G'day folks, just a quick clip of a couple of purple swamp hens down here pecking away on this football field. There's quite a few of them down here. This is a bit of a suburban wetlands. Normally you'll see them out here earlier in the morning, and then during the heat of the day they'll take off to those, well, there's wetlands over there, quite a substantial area. Lots of reeds where they hide and nest. Porphyrio is their Latin name. If you know anything about etymology, you'll recognise that refers to the colour. You'll see that really nice purple Prussian blue neck they've got. Although most of the bird's actually black, and then they have that really robust red bill with a sort of crenellated kind of plate on the forehead. These guys can get pretty cranky too in breeding season and that. I've seen the males pin each other down with those strong big legs and just rip chunks of feathers and flesh off their opponent. In size, I guess they're about the same as in body size, about the same as the domestic fowl, sort of a hen size, but with very long legs, very long, strong toes. What else can I tell you about them? Well, you see the way they flick that tail of theirs as they walk. When they're alarmed or taking off running, that will flash a signal to its mates, a bit like the same way that a rabbit will flash its tail. They're quite common all around the sort of eastern and northeastern Australia. They'll eat a range of things. You'll see these guys are grazing, but what they'll do is they're actually going for the soft sort of tuberous roots of the grass and the plants rather than the stems themselves, or rather than the blades and the foliage itself. What else can I tell you? Yeah, there's a group of them down here, but I think it consists mostly of males. They'll raise more than one brood a year. You know, one or two, sometimes 3 broods a year, I think. I could be wrong about that, but I know more than one. They will also eat the chicks of ducks, and they're renowned for being an egg thief as well. So they'll take a bit omnivorous, you know. They'll take frogs and lizards and chicks and eggs, and they will also graze a lot. Their droppings around here are predominantly green, so it's mostly aquatic plants and grazing that they're living on. There's also a pair of chestnut teals in this area that I spotted earlier. I'm going to try and get some footage of them, and I think they're very brave because these guys, as I said, are not adverse to stealing ducklings from unattended nests. Yeah, they're very robust, very tough. A bird to be reckoned with, actually. Although they are quite timid, they will just take off. They'll take off running, and although you always see them grazing and wading, they are good swimmers, and they also fly. They'll usually fly in sort of short jaunts, and when they do, they look pretty ungainly because they've got these big long legs and toes dragging out behind them. They don't tuck those legs in. Maybe they can't. But that's a beautiful neck and breast colour they've got. God, you can hear those channel-bill cuckoos in the distance. I'm just going to try and get a little bit closer to these guys. I've walked sort of slowly around them. I can't really tell you whether the male and female look noticeably different, but as I said, they when you see them in large groups, it's predominantly males in the group. They nest in the reed beds, very sort of squashed, flattened down dish of reeds, and they trundle through the reed beds quick as anything. There are also populations in New Guinea and in New Zealand too, and I read somewhere recently that the population in New Zealand is 95% certain that it started off in Australia. So how they made their own way across such vast distances of ocean is one for the pundits. Maybe they did it when the islands were closer together, way back when. I would say that's probably more likely. Like I said, they can fly, but I don't think I can see them crossing the Tasman. Yeah, can't help but wondering what they taste like. Like I said, they're a chunky bird, at least the size of a chook. You can see those long toes, very powerful long toes. Anyway, that's the purple swamp hen, Porphyrio for you. Aussie birds rock. Hope you enjoyed that little one. I've been down here for ages, and I just noticed today that I actually haven't filmed these blokes yet. Just so used to them being around, never thought of it. Anyway, Aussie birds rock. See ya.